Welcome to a new edition of the Neon Jazz interview series with UK jazz saxophonist Josephine Davies. Originally from the Shetland Islands and now based in London, her writing and playing continues to be infused with a Nordic quality, heard well in her use of traditional folk music elements and her haunting tone. This solo artist is at the forefront of the UK contemporary music scene, pushing the boundaries of jazz on all of her projects. She talked about all of this and so much more, so please get to know her and dig this interview, my friends. Hey, thanks for taking a minute out for Neon Jazz. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
So let's talk about your latest CD, Satori, and I want to kind of know, what was your artistic vision with this release?
Good question. Well, I've got more into the kind of free aspect of playing, and that's really much easier to do with this setup. So with just bass, drums and saxophone, you can kind of get rid of a lot of things like harmony and form and structure. So I've gradually been doing that more and more, and I think this album kind of shows the progression of where I've been going with that. So a lot of it is quite free.
Let me go back to, let me ask you this about albums. What is your philosophy on each successive release? Are you looking to do kind of an imprint in time? Are you looking to evolve? Or are you looking for exploring new sounds? What do you kind of do with each new release?
I think each release is a way of literally recording where I am at that time. So it's a funny thing because, of course, the creative process is ongoing, and then at various points within it, you get something down on paper or on vinyl or on digital or whatever. But then you move on. So it's funny because every album I look back on, even this one, which we recorded in February, I feel like it's not where I am anymore. So I've already moved further on. So I think my concept of an album is a kind of documentation of a certain points in one's artistic process. Like, definitely an evolution, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So were you born and raised in the UK?
Yeah, I was born up in the Shetland Islands, which is off the coast of Scotland. And then I moved down to southern England when I was quite young, and then I've been in London for about 20 years, a bit less than 20 years.
Talk to me about your childhood. How did you get involved with being a musician, and what jazz music really kind of lured you?
Well, actually, I was very late to jazz, so all my family kind of play instruments, and we always had a piano in the house. And so I had piano lessons when I was a kid, and then I played the flute at secondary school. I can't remember why. I think it was just one of those things where you get sent to the instrument cupboard and you're told to pick an instrument, and that was there, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'll learn that. So that was when I was about 12, I guess. And then my older brother, who is a trombonist, said that the saxophone is cool. So I thought, oh, right, well, he knows best. So I took up the saxophone, but I never even really heard any jazz. I just kind of played. I can't believe I actually got into music college, but I did get into music college. But when I got there, I realized I was on the classical course, and also realized that classical saxophone is definitely not my thing. And then I was in halls of residence, and somebody was playing John Coltrane, and it was just this sound, this kind of otherworldly sound that I'd never heard before, and I thought, okay, that's what a saxophone is supposed to sound like. I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah, very nice. Talk to me about the beginnings of your career. Did you always have this feeling once you got involved with playing the horn that music was going to be your life?
It's been a kind of funny process, I think. I was really passionate about it, but I felt that I just couldn't do it. I felt like jazz was just too hard, and I couldn't find my voice with it, and I could never find the freedom that was what drew me to jazz in the first place. And so I just got more and more frustrated. And then when I turned 30, I decided that I wanted to go back into education and do a PhD in philosophy and psychology. And I didn't mean to give up music. I wanted to do it alongside, but of course it got progressively more in depth. So I started playing less and less. And that was a 4-year course. And at the end of it, I worked in that field for a year, and then I thought, I really want to play music. So I got straight back into music, and finally found what I was looking for, which is the kind of freedom of expression and my own sound and my own style and the band that I wanted, the way my writing has progressed. So everything is completely different. Yeah, it's funny because although I don't use the doctorate anymore, it certainly gave me a new relationship with music that's much, much healthier than it used to be.
Yeah, totally. Do you feel at home on stage?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah. I feel like I really enjoy the performance aspect of jazz now as well, yeah.
So you are a resident composer and tenor player for the London Jazz Orchestra, a gig you've had since 2011. What's that experience been like for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. Firstly, it's because it's a band that plays music solely written by its resident players. It meant that when I joined, I had to start writing for big bands, which is something I'd never done before and had quite a lot of trepidation about. It got me into that, and now I'm still writing for big bands with the idea of getting my own band together starting next year. So it was really helpful to develop my writing and see what works. And it's an amazing band, really. It's such a diverse mix of players, and Scott's great, the leader. He's an incredible musician and conductor.
Are you happy with your career where you're at right now?
I feel like I'm still catching up from having had that time out to do my PhD. It's going in the right direction. I guess I could have more to my name than I've already done as a leader. I suppose it's in a way it's good because it motivates me. So this feeling of wanting to be further on makes me keep planning. So I want to do an album every year now, and I want to keep writing and keep developing my sound. So no, I'm not quite where I want to be, but that's kind of motivating me to work hard.
So, the thing about being a musician, I'm sure, is that you learn from the classroom, you learn from being on stage, but you also learn from live music you see. What live jazz shows have you seen that have really left an impression on you?
Oh, gosh, loads. I saw, there's an English tenor player called Julian Siegel, and I saw his quartet recently, which was really inspiring. He's that kind of it's not free jazz, but he just has that sort of abandon that makes you want to play all the time.
So let me up the ante a little bit here, and if you could get into some kind of like jazz DeLorean or time machine and go back in time, where would you go? Who would you want to see live?
Oh my word. It's too difficult. There are too many people. I would, it might be a bit of a cliche, but I would want to see Miles Davis Quintet with John Coltrane in about 1960, one of those gigs in Paris or London. The bootleg recordings of those are just magnificent. There's Coltrane's in his element trying stuff out, and the whole band is just on his side. It's incredible.
So, let me ask you generically, why do you love jazz?
Because it's both kind of harmonious and mathematical and chaotic and expressionistic and humanistic, and you can make it your own, and it's always new and open to interpretation.
Yeah, I like it. So, I want to ask you this too. Everyone has a perception of who you are, or a version of you. Your family, your friends, your fans. But you know yourself best. You know who you are. Tell me, who do you think you are?
Well, I think who I am changes according to who I'm with as well. I'm quite into that kind of existential idea of the person, that maybe I don't have such a core personality, but I adapt to various different environments. But I think, to answer less vaguely, I think I am a creative person with lots of different interests, including music and words. So sounds and words. People. I'm interested in people. Other than that, I don't know. I guess I'm still finding out who I am.
That's good.
I'm somebody who's interested in finding out who I am. There you go.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Hey, Josephine, thank you for taking some time out to talk with me here at Neon Jazz about your life and music, and thank you for the music.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks for listening and tuning in to yet another Neon Jazz interview, where we give you a bit of insight into the finest players in the UK, New York City, Kansas City, and spots all over the world, giving fans all that jazz. And thanks to Josephine for her time, her music, and her stories. If you want to hear more interviews, go to Famous Interviews with Joe Domino on the iTunes Store. Visit Neon Jazz at youtube.com, and for everything Neon Jazz, go to the neonjazz.blogspot.com. Until next time, enjoy the jazz, my friends.
Neon Jazz.